All right, my fellow Aries or Aries cross watchers, thank you guys for being here with me. Let me set this timer. I had it set for a different time in my other video because I didn't want to go like way over, but here we go. This one is for us. All right, Aries. So feel free to reverse this if you need to. It may or may not resonate for everybody, and it might even be for somebody connected to you. But someone is dealing with some sort of outward conflict or opposition and may have this internally as well. So there's a conflict happening to somebody. I think it's someone outside of you, unless it's reversed. But how I got it was that it's a person on the outside of you, however you know them, whether you know them or not. And there's some conflict going on with this person out here and in their own life, like in their own personal mind, in their heart, things like that. Although they seem to be extremely determined to push past it, but in some cases it may be that they're just determined to not really show how things are affecting them. Yeah, I don't know if this is someone who, I think it's someone who's maybe they're coming from a place of pride a little bit here, which we all have. But whoever this is, I feel like in some cases it could be somebody who's made a decision that at first they felt great about, confident about, proud of, maybe even cocky about, especially if it was in the expense of you, at your expense. They may have even had little to no feeling or gave any energy to it at all. Like it didn't matter to them at all. No shit off their back, so to speak. No skin off their teeth or something like that. Perhaps they didn't even really think about it much. They had no conscience in the matter. But, well, at least on every level, or maybe not at all, but they do now. It's almost like, which is really interesting because I just talked about the story of the Zen master. I cannot pronounce his name. If I need to, we'll talk about it here too, because I could apply that story as well here. I'm going to keep going, but if I feel by the end of this message, before we go over to members, because I mentioned it over there, then I'll mention just that story alone, just the Zen Master story, because it could definitely apply. I'm hearing Devin. I'm also hearing daring, or herring, like herringbone, or herring like fish, hearing, like court, like justice, herring. Okay. This may even be someone who tried to rub something in your face, and I definitely got that. I definitely got that. When I was writing this last night, I could see someone almost trying to like parade something around, as if, like, I don't know, to make you feel some type of way, to incite some sort of energy in other people about you, or even from you. Okay? So someone here may have tried to rub something in your face. They could currently be trying to do this. This could be something that's already happened, and maybe now they're starting to see, or it's someone who's currently doing it. But even if in some cases they may have tried to rub something in your face, but it wasn't necessarily their intentions, it's possible that it may have just seemed, or if someone's doing it right now, it's possible. So we don't want to assume. Okay? But it's possible in some situations that someone may not be trying to rub something in your face, but it's just appearing like that. It's the way perhaps we're perceiving it. But in a lot of cases, they're absolutely trying to rub something in your face, or trying to laugh in your face, or trying to do something to mock you, or to make you feel some type of way, or to say ha ha ha, you know. So, but that's not always the case, and we have to be very careful with assuming shit. So yeah, somebody could be laughing in your face. They could have been doing that. Or again, to be fair to this person and not assume, this is how it may appear or have appeared to us. So emphasis here on parade. Someone here has been parading around in a specific way at your expense. Some definitely intentionally. And to those people, they'll know it because those are the ones who are feeling this way right now. But even to the ones who didn't mean to do it, or make you feel some way, or hurt you, or anything like that, or rub anything in your face, or laugh in your face, or cause you any type of pain. For the ones who didn't mean that, even then, they're also sitting with this like, oh, I didn't mean that to happen. I don't want you to feel that way. In other situations, it may have been where someone blatantly tried to hurt you, which we just talked about, but we're going to go ahead and talk about it again. Someone who blatantly tried to hurt you, hurt your image, hurt your family, hurt your business, hurt your name, hurt whatever, okay? Could still be doing it. This could be foreshadowing, or this could already have happened. Whatever someone did or is doing, whether they did it knowingly and consciously to cause pain, or inflict some sort of something on you, or humiliate or hurt you, or even just blatantly disregard what they did, they may have caused pain or suffering on your part. But they're being made aware of that now. Whatever someone did, if they did it intentionally, they're being made aware of it now. I don't know why. Does that mean it's happening to them? I don't know. What good would it be for us to know that? Why would we want to know that? Like, what is this person's karma for doing what they did to me? Who knows? But they're being made aware of it. It as in their actions, what they've done. Just as we've been made aware of our own when we've done wrong, whether we were aware of what we were doing or not. Okay? So I don't know what's happened or how far this has gone, like how far someone's taken something to hurt you, intentionally or unintentionally. That's going to be different for everybody. But to be fair, again, we've all done things like this. The problem is when we have no awareness of it. So we continue to do it. We just continue because we either don't know what we're doing. Like some people don't know. You're like, forgive me, Father, for they know not what they do. See, sometimes that happens, and sometimes it's 100% people know. Okay, but they may not know that what they're doing to you is being done right back to them. It's part of it. If they have no awareness of it, or they continue to do it and have like a full-blown intention to cause harm or pain or grief to another, this person is now being made aware of it, like right now. Some sort of, you could call it karma, I guess. It's just more so what they've put out there getting back, or this is coming. So a lot of us have learned this the hard way. And I think that could be what's happening to someone. They could be learning something the hard way, even if it's just their own heart is breaking. Like, because they actually didn't want to hurt you. That's sad. That's sad. That's sad for someone to go through that. Their heart is breaking because they didn't want to hurt you like this. And maybe even someone thought they wanted to hurt you until they did. Or until it came back on them in some way. And now they're like, oh my God. Like, this is what happened? If they don't realize what's really going on in this life, and we have to be careful of our actions and what we put out, how we treat people. If they really don't understand that, to a degree, it's unintentional, even if it's intentional. But some people, they understand, they know completely, and they feel proud to do it. They feel like it's their duty. They came here specifically, hero's journey, to be your villain. There's got to be a villain in somebody's story. You know what I mean? So it depends on who this is and how this goes. I think it feels intentional here, to be honest. I know I've been sounding like I'm trying to be fair and I'm only on their side. No, I'm trying to see it from every angle. In this message, when I was writing this, guys, I do think it was intentional, or is, if it's still going on, 100%. I think it's intentional. I do. At least for this message, it feels like what someone's done, or what they've tried to do at least, they're almost proud of themselves for it. But it's not an experience that feasts for long before it's hungry again, before it's withered. So I think that's what's occurring right now, or it's foreshadowing that this is what's happening or about to happen for someone, because it seems like you've taken the high road, quite literally. You've taken the high road. You may actually be elevating your consciousness to set atop the hill that you were being slain on. Instead of, like, you might physically still be on it right now, like you call it like the chopping block. There's still like this yeah, this is her, this is him, this is you, but your consciousness is outside of it, so you're looking down into the situation. Imagine you're sitting there, think biblical times, you're on an altar, you're being sacrificed in some way, or an aspect of you is being sacrificed, or all of it, and you're physically laying there, and, well, think about it, like Abraham and Isaac, isn't it a ram that is sent so that he doesn't sacrifice his son? Well, there you go. So, you know, someone may have even tried to sacrifice you to save themselves, or sacrifice you to save another. You know what I mean? Which is actually, I'm going to have to talk about the Zen master. I'm going to have to talk about it, because that's exactly what happens in the story of the Zen master. We'll get into it. I think we might actually get into that here. But anyway, you've basically been able to take the high road, and not easily. It's not easy, is it? But you're doing it currently, and you're looking down into the situation with your higher self, you could say, and you're kind of like seeing what's actually going on. You're not actually involving yourself in it, and nor are you letting any of the energy penetrate you. You could say you're passing a test. You're passing a trial. You're passing what we've just covered as an ordeal. Now, before I get off the video and continue on, members, let's talk about this Zen master that I was telling you about. So, there's a Zen master, I believe, I wrote it down. Let's see, Haiku or Haikanu, or I don't want to say his name wrong. It starts with an H. Let's see. Hakuin, I believe. I think is how you spell it. So many papers. Alright. So, there is a Zen master who was well respected by his neighbors, okay? He was a peaceful person. He had no intentions to hurt anybody. He was an honorable man, and his neighbors and his community really loved him, okay? So there was this store nearby, and this owner of the store had a beautiful daughter who was unmarried. She had no love, no lover that anybody knew about. But one day, she ends up impregnated, and her parents, as you can imagine, are like furious. Okay, she's a young girl, and they're furious. And they're like, well, harassing her, basically, to tell them, who did this to you? What happened? You know, because she doesn't want to tell on herself and be like, hey, psst, Mom, Dad, I'm young, but I'm having sex. Instead, she's getting scared because they're threatening her, they're scolding her, they're reprimanding her pretty bad. So imagine back then what they're doing. I don't know, but it's probably pretty rough. And it's so rough that she's like, all right, what can I do? And the best thing in her mind at the time was, I'm going to lie. So what does she do? You betcha. She blames it on the Zen master for assaulting her. She says he assaulted her. Why'd she choose the Zen master? Well, because she didn't know him well, but she had knew of him in the community and through her parents, who really revered this man and really liked him, that he's a good man. He's a nice man, and he's not going to react or do anything crazy. You wouldn't punish her for sure. She knew she could basically take advantage of the situation because of who he was and how he was. So she lied on this man, and the parents, enraged, like boiling with anger, they go to this Zen master's door, Hakuin. Not only that, they take the whole village. They take everybody, because you know that's what people have to do. They got to rally against you, so they can't just be them angry. They got to get everybody else angry against you. So assuming is very important, and why it's important to not assume, because that's how people die. That's how people, like a lot of things, we wouldn't want that happening to us. So without tangible proof, you know, that can be rough. And I did cover over there that now sometimes it happens where people say something's happened and they are telling the truth, but people aren't listening to them. Okay. That does happen. But that's not what I'm talking about in this story. We're only talking about this story right here, where someone has been accused of something they didn't do. Long story short, the parents go over here, right? They bring the whole village people, and they're like, we're going to ruin your whole reputation. Yeah, we're going to ruin your life, basically. So they go to him, and they confront him, and they're like, how dare you do that to our daughter? We heard that you got our daughter pregnant because you've assaulted her. And the Zen master is like, is that so? That's all he said. Is that so? That's how he responded. And they are like, wow. So a little bit of time passes. Of course, during this time, they're still ruining his reputation, completely smearing his name, completely just defaming his character and everything. And he's said nothing else other than that one time where he said, "Is that so?" He's just living his life. And now the baby is born. So the baby is born, and they bring the baby to the Zen master, and they're like, "Here's what you're going to do. You're going to take care of your responsibility. You know, the responsibility of what you put inside our daughter from the little salt that you did. You're going to take care of her." Or him, this baby. It's a boy, I believe. "You're going to take care of this baby." And all the Zen master said is that so? Is that so? So he then takes on the responsibility of a child that he did not bring into the earth, but he's being blamed for doing it. And so, and gracefully, right? He's not pretending. He's not doing it begrudgingly. He knows his truth, and that's all that matters. But everyone is against him. So he raises this child, and he actually raises the child with love for as long as he has him. He has him for, I don't know, a couple months, maybe a year. I don't remember how long the story says, but he has him a while. And, you know, he went from not even planning to have a child to now he has a child, and so he had to be able to take care of the child. But how's he going to work? How's he going to do all this? Because they're ruining his name everywhere. So he even, I think at one point, there's something to do with milk. I cannot remember what they were saying, but I think he had to like ask for milk from neighbors or whatever to help raise this baby, like to help take care of this child or whatever. And you know, nobody wanted to help him, but anyway, he still did the best that he could to take care of this child and to love this child. It's not the child's fault, you know, and he knows his truth again. So one day, because the girl ends up realizing she has a conscience, she's like, "Wow, what I did is wrong." See, most people don't admit what they've done when they're wrong, even if they realize it internally, because they're so full of pride and they don't want what they did to another to happen to them. So instead of them admitting, "Hey, I really fucked up," or maybe they don't want to get sued, or they don't want to go to jail, or they don't want to get fined, or they don't want to lose the support of their community, or they don't want to tarnish their name and reputation. So instead of setting the record straight, they won't do it. They'll sit back, which is still not honorable. Though their conscience tells them, they may pray about it, they may say, "I'm sorry," but they don't actually set the record straight. That's still wrong. Anyway, she sets the record straight, the girl. She goes to her parents and says, "I have a truth to tell you. I lied. The Zen master never touched me. I don't even really know him. I've been seeing," she actually like had a man. He worked at a fish market, and he's the one who impregnated her. And she didn't want anything to happen to him. But because she knew that the Zen master was what everyone talked about, how calm he was and peaceful, what was he going to do about it? He wasn't going to do anything. So she took advantage of a vulnerable man, or seemingly vulnerable, because of his nature, and to protect her lover. She put something on him that he did not do. And it just kept domino affecting. So anyway, she set the record straight, so kudos to her for doing that. Although, lots of damage there you done, girl. But, you know, again, let me recap. In some situations, people are telling the truth and people don't listen to them. But that's not this one. So I want to make sure I make that disclaimer. So the parents are like, holy shit. And I also want to give credit to the parents here. Let me tell you what the parents did. The parents then go to Hakuin. They go to him with remorse. See, they could have easily been like, "Okay, well, now we know this truth, but because we don't want to be shamed by our community and we don't want to admit that we did wrong, we'll just keep on with this lie." No, they didn't do that. So I got to give them credit for that. Most people would continue with the lie to save themselves, because people are fucking like that. But they go and they ask for his forgiveness, and they say, "Our daughter told us the truth, that you didn't do what she said you did, and this whole time you've been punished for something you didn't do." And he says, the only thing he says is that so? That's it. He then hands the child back over to the parents to take to the daughter and goes about his life. I'm going to leave it there. Now we're going to take the rest on over to members, where we'll finish talking about the situation of this person who I feel they've done something against you, or they currently still are. They're keeping it up. They're keeping it going. And it's because they have a lot of pride. In some situations, they meant to do what they're doing or what they've done, and some they didn't. They just didn't even know. But, all right, guys. Well, thank you for being here with me, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.